Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Advancement Centre, and welcome to the world of magic and miracles. Once again, we join together above that elevated platform of living that we've attempted to achieve all our lives. We're way above anything we've ever done before, way above any feeling that we've ever had before. And we're communicating with a language that we're totally familiar with, that has nothing to do with our regular words. The energy fields that interact as we speak belong to you and you alone. And they interact, but they do not interfere. So as I speak, you're connected with me, you're connected with your world, and you're connected in the specification that you have prepared. One that somehow we all know, but do not interfere with. Our uniqueness is becoming more obvious. And in the physical world, we find we can actually live a beautiful life in a field that's encouraging and uplifting, with power and with harmony, and with a special gentleness that we've never dealt with before. That gentleness has been brought to us through all the beings of the universe, and the power is generated by each one individually. And we've experimented, and we've demonstrated, and we've made you aware of the special things that you can do, that you do normally in everyday life, where you know who's coming around the corner, who's about to ring you, who's on the other side of the room, what sort of environment you're standing in, how the weather is about to change, how the wind will talk to you, the trees will talk to you, the birds, and how you change dimensions as you walk through the woods. And birds suddenly appear that didn't fly in because they've allowed you into their dimension. And the little creatures, the squirrels, and so forth, can all appear in your world. And they didn't suddenly rush into the bush or into the woods because you realized they were there. So there are many, many things that have happened in your life, and everybody's life, that indicate the marvel of the life we live. But now that we have the ability to step out into nowhere, into that world beyond worlds, where all dimensions disappear, where all hierarchy disappears, and where elegance is the total subject of the day. Now we can do that. We can do more. We can bring back into the world the field that we feel when we step outside. We can allow the energies to interact and to do physical things in the physical world, to enhance people's lives, not by some mystery, but by lots of magic. The magic is no longer a mystery to anyone, and it never was to children. They love to be that magic person with a wand, and they love to be dressed as something that reminds them of their origin. And it doesn't matter how small they are. You put them in a fairy dress with wings, and they love it. They know exactly what to do with the wand. And we, as people that have advanced through the world, never lost any of that. The big thing we have is that we're grown-up children with a livelihood that worries us many times and flies and all those things. But as grown-up beings and as grown-up children, we have a big advantage, and that is we can stop doing what we were doing yesterday, look into the future, pour ourselves forward into that future, and watch it start to appear. It seems like a challenge, but it's simple. It's just like the games that children play, only much more sophisticated, because we realize where we come from. We realize that we walked away from it and that we experimented in a world that doesn't go anywhere except around in circles. And now we can look forward like you do as you're driving along the road, and drive a straight line or turn a corner, because we can see it, because we know what's ahead, and we can divert ourselves into all sorts of different places if it's necessary. So right now, we've been given access to our own abilities, access to our own world, and access to the gifts that we are presenting to the world. And to do that, we've had to open all our channels. And when you open all your channels, initially you feel vulnerable. But then you start to feel the energy flow out. The fields expand. And your interaction with beings and people all over the universe. And you realize that you haven't got a moment's notice before the next exciting thing happens. All the time, excitement, newness, not enough information to allow your brain to get a hold of anything, but lots of good feelings and good activity. Just like young children. The greatest thing is, all we have to do is allow an outflow so that we are providing whatever's needed by anybody as a field, not as an influence, as a gift into the universe, so that people can reside in a beautiful field that has color, beauty, movement, excitement, talent, and all the things that we bring to the world, all sitting there in front of everyone so that they can take anything up they like. And it won't hurt anybody. It only enhances lives. So every gift you have, you put into the universe, and you put it into the field that you transmit every moment. And your whole life becomes a masterpiece of energies and movement and color. And you don't have to convince anybody of anything. They can take what they like and it'll just replace itself. The more that is used, the greater the output from each person. And it doesn't have to combine. It creates a kaleidoscope of everything and everybody, and nothing runs into one another. And your picture and your field and your world resides in what looks like the same space as everybody else's. The same universe that belongs to you seems to belong to everyone else. But they are all individual universes for each person, all individual worlds for each person, and all individual experiences and gifts that you offer into that world. So now we're in a beautiful position where we can actually change our own life. We can step forward into that void that we thought we couldn't get to. That void that turns out to be a bigger world, a bigger life than we've ever expected. A bigger life and a bigger world than you can fit the universe in. So our experiences extend beyond anything that we can capture in our normal awareness. And because of that, our awareness goes up to a major point where it changes what you see and changes what you feel. And it changes how everything feels around you. And you'll notice not too much rubbish ever gets into your field, because it changes as it goes. And every time we step forward into the world of our Creator, we find out that we were there all the time. And it looks like a different aspect of ourselves. But suddenly, it's all part of you. And it is many different aspects. But they're all available to you. Millions of them. All the millions of different aspects of yourself help you to paint that picture that's almost impossible to describe or follow, but one that's for the good of everyone, for the good of yourself. And it shows you without doubt that if you don't advance yourself to where you're satisfied, you won't be able to do anything for anyone. And that's where it ends. So the beauty of what's happening is you don't have to see any of that. What you see is the future, the brilliance, the excitement, and the fact that it never ends. And you're bringing all that into the physical world. It's really hard to express what it feels like to see people actually doing it, actually stepping past what they thought was the best thing in their life, stepping past what they thought was their total security, and stepping into where those things do not even matter, where your heart opens up and many other things open up and flies appear. But when many things open up and invite in the total aspect of everything in your world, the billions of little sparkles actually turn into billions of little worlds, each one being bigger than the one that you know, each one being more exciting. And the endless nature starts to grow on you to where you don't even look at the small little piece of what just went past. Like if you're concentrating driving on the road, you're moving with everything. Or if you're in an aeroplane, you're moving with everything and it just seems like you're still. But you're moving relative to everything else. And your world actually moves at a different speed to everyone's. And it holds you as its owner, as its creator, and as its director. So when you throw your field into the universe, it becomes active. Very, very active. and it maintains the flow through the universe that you need. And in the physical plane, it still happens. You feel like you want to jump out of your skin. It's so exciting. And you have available to you every bit of energy that you could ever want. And you don't have a big list of things that you're supposed to do. You're extremely busy and things get done. Quite different to having a big list that you have to follow. We're starting to get into areas that are really dear to me, into areas where I've lived, in amongst all sorts of rubbish. And I can never, ever know a time where I could actually leave that alone. I had to be in the world of my Creator. I had to be where nobody else has ever been. And that is the world that I know. And that's how I knew that everybody had the same. Everybody has a world where nobody else has been. Everybody has a future that nobody else is ever going to experience. And it's not a destiny. It's changing all the time. Your destiny is right in front of you, but it's like a carrot. It stays in front of you. And you get close to it and you think it's about to happen, like the fly. But all of a sudden you turn and you're looking at a different picture. I always say that it's a bit like skiing down the slopes. You look like you're going over a cliff. Then all of a sudden you turn and you're looking down a totally different alleyway. And then you'll turn again and it's different again. And the thrill that comes with not knowing until you get there is the same thrill as going through the universe, as living life to its fullest, with all the thrills and the unknowns, except you know you're capable of skiing. You know you're capable of living. And in that knowing your capability, the skills pop out of nowhere. You might be skiing and you take a jump that you didn't think you could possibly do. And before you land, you don't know if you're going to make it. And then you land and you can't stop patting yourself on the back for what a brilliant job you did, or how you recovered. Life is just like that. We keep going, but we don't make it difficult. We have sufficient drive, just like the skier, where we don't have to push against anything. The correct path is always in front of us, as long as we're willing to turn at any moment. As long as we're welcome to the disturbances. And then we use our magic. And we bring it in from other worlds, from everywhere, from places that we didn't even know we'd been. We bring in magic that we didn't know we had. And then you can't stop patting yourself on the back for what happens in your life. So the more I can share this, the greater the flow. And that flow is what allows us to live. It's a flow that has no name. It's a flow that everybody knows about. And it has momentum. And it makes you shine and really stand out in the world. And that momentum and brilliance is what comes from that flow that we don't know about, that we all know brilliantly, that we can use easily, as long as we don't ask for a description, because it will change to suit you. That massive flow of excitement when you're about to do something is nothing compared to the massive flow of excitement when you look into the future. And for me, I can stand in that future and look around. And I suppose many others can as well. But we really don't have to know anything about anybody else's unless they decide to present it in the physical world. And it only takes a fraction of a second for that to be passed on to you. Just with somebody's little smile or a look, and a burst of energy just hits you. Or a bit of recognition when you walk past someone. You go, wow, wonder what that was. And you know you're both connected. You walk through one another's fields and you go, what a beautiful person. And there is the answer to longevity. As we walk through one another's fields, we regenerate the field around us that actually supports us. We regenerate every part of it. And even the chemicals in your body will change. It's like the first time you fall in love. You don't know what it is, but it does so much for you. It drives your body into that perfection that you need for that occasion. So now, no matter what age we are, we walk through one another's fields. We feel the effect. And all you have to do is leave all your channels open and everything will be reloaded properly. That's the gift we give to one another. That's how we as humans can regenerate and continue to generate. The influence that's been experienced over the years has been exactly that, under false conditions. And now we don't have false conditions because there are no conditions required. If something's in front of us that shouldn't be there, we change our interface so that it doesn't affect us. We change hot to cold, cold to hot, visible to invisible, invisible to visible. We make walls disappear if we want to know what's on the other side. We've managed to do many things technically, but they're still trying to catch up with the quality of one human being. And they'll never do it. Because each person has unlimited everything, unlimited power, unlimited ability, and unlimited intelligence that has nothing to do with a measure that you have on Earth. The intelligence of a small child is such that they can control the whole family. So what do you think yours is? It's enormous. And it can change form whenever you wish. So as we all interact, we can smile because we know more about it than the other person, because it's in our world. And we can enjoy the skills of every other person because we know we will never experience what they experience. We have the perfect world for each one of us individually. And now it's time for us to expose that as a complex field run by simplicity that everyone can experience and take from whatever they wish to enhance their own world. And it's not done by a brain selection, it's done by the perfection of our interactions and our individuality, and the fact that we never run into one another and we never, ever take from one another. We only give. And we don't give into another person's world. We give into the field that allows them to make their world. A little bit like you provide all unique colours into a class so that somebody can pick what they need to colour their photo or their world. Or they might mix them and mix the colours they have with your colours to make new ones. But you are not affecting what they do. You're only making it possible for them to do more. So the energy we put into the world is what keeps it alive. The energy that we put into the earth keeps it alive. The energy we put into the universe keeps it alive. And life is something that has to be lived. Not a bunch of experiences that are created by somebody else. But life will lead you. But you don't have to take the lead. You don't have to follow the lead. You follow your spirit in whatever way it wants to work. And watch what happens. There will be no mistakes. It's impossible to make a mistake unless you're trying to do something that belongs to someone else. In your world, it's impossible to make a mistake or a wrong move, or even to think a wrong thought. If you do feel uncomfortable, that's a signal. All of a sudden, you have breached somebody else's world. And in the very near future, that won't be possible. Because as we step into the world of our Creator, it's not possible. And the world of our Creator is actually all around us. And it's only because we went into the rumpus room, we made a mess, that we think we've got to clean it up. We walk back out of the rumpus room, shut the door, forget it. It will clean itself up. That's your magic. That's your capability. And in the past, it's worked in many, many people's lives because they say time heals. But in fact, they walked out of the rumpus room, shut the doors, and let the magic work. And everything comes together eventually. Many people's lives don't come to a peak until just before they pass. And at that time, everything is fixed. Because they closed those doors and allowed the magic. And everyone feels it. Everyone knows, wow, what a great job that person did. We can do that every day of our life, including flicking flies away. So every day of our life, we have the opportunity to have a look at the mess around us, close the doors on it, and allow our magic to clean it up. And never, ever doubt the magic and miracles that you have brought into your life. It's amplified now, and it's grown so quickly that most people have no trouble at all relying on anything else but just magic and watching the miracles, the little things, the big things, the fact that your phone doesn't go dead when it's supposed to have run out of power. All those things, little things. Something looks like it's going to block up and you decide it shouldn't, and it doesn't. The water flows the right way. Everything works right because that interface that you have with the world is working on magic and miracles. So one of the biggest miracles of all time is that you can wish everyone a perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future, and it will happen. So thank you, and I wish you all that. Perfect life, perfect health, and a magic future. Thank you.